Hello again, welcome back to Hangar 51. So today we're going to do the build on the ROES T-28. Guys, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be the quickest build I've ever done in my life. Probably 5 minutes at the most. Okay, so I've got my bag open over here, got my bits out, got our prop hub and the prop fake. You don't even have to screw it together. It's just the prop sits in this hub here for scale effect, and that's it. And then we've got 5 screws to hold the wing on, 1 extra, and 2 screws to hold the tail horizontals on with 1 extra, and then the 1 control linkage, and that's it. It's that quick. Okay, so let me show you how this thing goes together, because it's just amazing. So okay, so we're going to take the carbon fiber spar, the little one we took out of the box, and we're going to send it through here like this. Okay, and then you want to locate your horizontal with the control horn on it right here. And of course you want the control horn facing down, so we're going to put that on here like this. Then we're going to put the other side on over here like this. Okay, now what you want to do is get these 2 started into the leading edge of the plastic retainer here. So just get those started in there. Now if they're going in tight, guys, there's a little trick you can do. It's very simple. All you need to do is just squeeze this a little bit. Okay, so just take your finger and your thumb and just squeeze the end here. Just kind of roll your fingers off the edge of it like this, and it'll just squeeze it down that little tiny bit, so that it'll slide into the retainer easier. So that's all you got to do. Just a little squeeze here right at the edge, and what it does is it's kind of rounding the end of the foam here just a little bit. That's all you need. That's plenty to get it to start easy, and this stuff will just slide right in. So you get that one started, get this one started. Okay, and then make sure your elevators are even, because it's a square tube. So it's a square hole into a square peg. Okay, and you just got to push these together and make sure that the elevator lines up as you're squeezing these together. And there, okay, and then you just finish squeezing it in till you get the holes lined up. You take your 2 little screws and you screw this on like this. And the screws keep falling off the table. These do not have to be super tight, guys. Just snug them. See, there's nothing pulling the screw, trying to pull the screw out of the thing. It's lateral pull, okay, and the screw's in there. That's all it needs to be. You don't need anything more than that. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we're just going to flip it over and take the wing, untie your tie wrap here, which is actually a zip tie. So I just happen to have a pair of cutters here. So we'll cut the zip tie. Be careful not to cut a lead, guys. This can be very dangerous, you know, to the construction of the plane. I mean, if you cut one of these leads, you're going to be replacing the lead, repairing or replacing, and you'll have to maybe pull a servo out, replace it, just make your life miserable. So just be extra careful when you're cutting the zip tie off that you don't accidentally cut a wire, and you'll be good. Okay? Alright, so now that got all this loose. There's some Y harnesses that are already plugged in. So now what I like to do, I just like to take the leads and just pull them out, make them as straight as possible. It just makes them go through the hole in the fuselage easier. So just take an extra second here and just, you know, pull the wires and kind of roll them through your fingers. You know how you used to take a piece of paper as a kid and run it through scissors to make it curl up? Well, you're basically doing the opposite. You're going the opposite direction to take the curl out, you know, with your fingers. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the straighter the leads are now, while you're trying to put them through the fuselage, the easier it's going to be. You know, if you still have these folds in them when you're trying to put them through the fuselage, you're gonna end up fighting them. And just taking that extra second here to make sure they're straightened out is a very simple process. Recheck your leads, make sure that they're plugged in correctly and that they're all the way plugged in. So just give them one more little push there, make sure that the colors match up and that they're tight. And I got 2 more leads here to straighten out. This one here. Okay. And there's a couple of plugs here. Let's check and make sure they're correct and they're plugged in all the way. And this one's correct. Nope, not that one. This one. And that one's correct. And they're plugged in all the way. Alright. So now those wires are reasonably straight. It'll be a little easier to get them in the fuselage. And I recommend just taking the canopy off. Give yourself more room, and you could actually pull the wires as you're feeding them through. Now that you can get your hand inside the fuselage, okay, you can actually pull the wires through. So just start feeding them in like this. Kind of give these a little tug here, get them down through here. So I never pull on the wires, guys. I just tug them, you know, just guide them. You know, there's too big a risk of accidentally unplugging the leads if you pull on them. So I try not to pull at all. You know, if I do pull, it's just a light tension, not a pull, just a tension. You know, to keep the wire going the direction I want it to go. And I never try to just yank the wire. You know, you're just looking for a problem if you do that. So don't yank on the wire. Just kind of guide it Keep a little tension on it as you're pushing it through the hole. And there you are. Okay. So now we get the wing down there in its saddle like this, which fit in beautiful. And grab the 4 wing hold downs. They're all the same size, so that makes it easy. You don't have to, have long ones and short ones and then figure out where do the long ones go, where do the short ones go. They're all the same size, so that's beautiful. And they fall all the way down inside this plastic retainer. Again, it's a hard plastic mount embedded in the foam with a shoulder down on it, so that when you're screwing the screw in, it'll hit that shoulder, snug up tight, you'll be good. So always get all your screws started first. Don't ever tighten one up and then go to the next one. Get them all in. Make sure they're all threading in, they're all started. It's just going to save you headaches down the road. So I don't think any of these are finding their mark. So we got to do a little tugging and pushing here to get these screws to line up. So just an observation, obviously the left wing and the right wing were assembled by 2 different people, and the way I can tell that is the left wing is done correctly. The wires going in the channels are vertical, okay, so that they fall in place vertically next to each other in the groove, so that you have the wire with no twists in it, following the curve, sandwiched together. The 2 wires, the wire for the aileron and the flap are running side by side vertically, and they're in the wing nice and smooth, because that's the way it works when you put them in that way, and it makes for a beautiful install. And the wires don't try to poke out or anything, and they just conform and make a beautiful. Whereas on this side, this guy just threw them in any old way, so they're twisted, they're rolling over each other, they're laying flat. So now these wires are poking out of the wing. They're trying to come out of the wing, because that's what happens when you've got a ribbon cable laying flat instead of vertical in the groove. So this one's wavy through the retainers, and it just looks terrible. Whereas this one, they've got the yellow wires up even on this side, and they both conform beautifully down there. This side, he's got this one's yellow, the yellow's sticking up right here at the servo, but this one's it's jammed in there crooked, so it's actually the brown and orange, or the brown and red is more showing, and then they get here and twist around, and it's just a mess. So the installer on the right wing didn't do a very good job at all, but the left guy, whoever did the left one, guy or girl, is rock solid on. Whoever did a fantastic job on the install of the wires, beautiful job. So should it affect the way it flies? No, not at all really, but it could be an issue down the road. So just something to be aware of. So I don't think those are screw. I don't think they're Phillips head screws. I think they must be. Yeah, these are hex head screws. So I got the wrong tool. So let me go back here and we'll just finish up here because the wing's on. I just have to finish tightening it. So let me put my elevator control linkage in. Like that. And looks like they're using the outside hole, so we'll finish it up with the outside hole. And there you are. That's it. We're built. That's it. I just have to tighten those 4 screws, but they're in. The wing's on. And the next step will be just to install the receiver. So we'll get to that in a minute. But that's it. Build video over. That was really that easy. So, all right.